A project manager hired to clean up lead-contaminated soil at Granby, Missouri City Park is sentenced in federal court. A federal judge sentenced 65-year-old Lynn to serve 5 years of probation and pay a $40,000 fine. Eich's employer, Environmental Quality Management, received a nearly $12 million contract to perform a waste remediation in the Granby area. Last year, Eich admitted he gave federal officials false information about the scope and amount of lead contamination at Granby City Park. Officials say the deceit cost taxpayers hundreds of thousands of dollars to correct. The remains of a World War II veteran soldier were buried today in Independence, Kansas. U.S. Army Air Forces Staff Sergeant David E. Holman was stationed in the Philippines when Japanese forces invaded in December 1941. Holman was among thousands of U.S. and Filipino service members captured and interned at POW camps when U.S. forces in Bataan surrendered. Records show Holman died in July of 1942. He was buried with other prisoners in a common grave. Holman's remains were identified last year by DNA testing. Folks are gathering at downtown Fort Scott, Kansas today to celebrate Good Old Days. This is the 42nd year for Good Old Days. According to festival organizers, the event started in the 1800s. It was discontinued, then resurrected in 1981. While it's meant to celebrate Fort Scott's past, it brings in visitors from outside Bourbon County as well. A parade is just now getting kicked off. And now meteorologist Sam Lane joins us live at Good Old Days in Fort Scott, Kansas, with more about the celebration and a look at the weather.
All right, thank you very much, Jalen. Yeah, we're in downtown beautiful Fort Scott, Kansas today, celebrating Good Old Days. I have here with me Lindsay Madison of the Fort Scott Chamber of Commerce. Lindsay, this is quite an event you've got on here.
Yes, we're so excited for the 42nd annual Good Old Days. Sincere appreciation to all the committee that puts this on every year for the community and also the visitors that come to town.
And Lindsay, we're having a parade tonight, is that right? Talk a little bit about that.
Yes, we have a parade that always kicks off the festival, starts right now at 6. We have about 70 entries, so it's a great parade. We have some distinguished judges, some service men and retiring from the service, so we're excited to have them this evening.
All right, and there are lots of vendors out here with all kinds of food. They have food trucks, vendors, and we're going to talk to one of the vendors in a little bit later. But it is a beautiful evening shaping up for Good Old Days here in Fort Scott. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, definitely. There are food vendors, craft, clothing, all kinds of retail. Plus, we have our regular downtown stores and restaurants that are open. And there will be live entertainment tonight until 10. The Red Garter Saloon Show is always a hit. It'll be going tonight at 7 and on the hour tomorrow, the Red Garter Saloon. And so come tonight till 10, and then it starts early in the morning and goes all the way until 10 tomorrow night.
All right, well, it looks like a great evening shaping up across the area. We do have some thunderstorms, but the good news is they're way off to the west in central Kansas, south of Wichita, and they're starting to sneak into Chautauqua and Elk counties, and we're starting to see a chance of showers starting to move into our forecast. But the good news is once the sun goes down, a lot of that will start to dissipate, so no excuse whatsoever to not come down to Fort Scott and enjoy Good Old Days. Zooming in, you can see the activity there in western parts of our viewing area, but this evening is shaping up to be pretty nice across the area. Although we're still in a drought, Fort Scott is about 18.5 inches below where they should be in rainfall. Hopefully we will get some more rain over the weekend, but we don't want it to rain on the parade tonight, nor do we want it to really wash out anything tomorrow, and I don't think we have a concern about that. Instead, we're looking at conditions are looking pretty nice, temperatures in the 60s for lows and then highs in the 80s tomorrow. And of course, I'll have more details in our forecast coming up in just a little bit. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Sam. A Miami, Oklahoma producer of luxury coaches is gearing up for an expansion project with the help of funding through the Oklahoma Department of Commerce. KOAM Shagun Bomdali has more.
Newell Coach is preparing a $7.5 million expansion project supported by $2 million in funding from the Oklahoma Department of Commerce. In April, the company received notification of approval for the award under the state's Business Expansion Incentive Program.
And we're going to use the money as part of a facility office project. We're going to be building some new offices on the grounds to add more space for growth and just kind of update our facility.
The last time any expansion was done in Newell was in 2010.
Specifically to the offices, we haven't done any expansion really since probably 2010 or 2011 is when they did a remodel. We have added facilities on our campus here in Miami, quite a few over the last 10 years. We've added a new production facility, a service expansion, a new frontline building. So we're continuing to add as our company growth allows.
An employee says the expansion will allow for more workflow.
Oh, the expansion is going to be great for us, not only for our customers, our employees as well. We are the top motor coach manufacturer in the world, and so we need to have that presence when a customer pulls up. So I think our new office facility will set the tone of what the customer needs to expect from us and what they'll get from us.
With the new expansion, Newell is expected to hire more people and boost the economy of Miami, Oklahoma.
We're a top employer in our area, so as we continue to grow and have success, we're going to look to continue to bring on talented people and grow our employer base. And as our employee base grows, then that benefits everybody in the community.
In Miami, Shagbamdele, KOM News.
The Business Expansion Incentive Program assists Oklahoma companies making major capital investments in items such as machinery, equipment, and buildings. Coming up, details on a federal lawsuit challenging an Arkansas law subjecting librarians and booksellers to criminal charges. Plus, the latest on research showing Missouri and Arkansas as some of the unhealthiest states in the country.